Hi guys, AnimeWestReacts here. Gonna be doing double chapter because I missed last week's One Piece, so yeah. Doing 161 and 162 this video. Hope y'all enjoy it. But yeah, so 161, we got a color page of Luffy. He's holding all these dolls, and him and Nami are just both grabbing choppers like a crane game, which Brook is the crane. And so I got Luffy holding these dolls of Shanks, Ace, Makino, Sabo, Dodon, Garp, and Whitebeard. And he's got a blanking on his name. The guy in the treasure chest. Oh, I kind of remember it, kind of don't. But yeah. And Nami is holding on to Vivi, I think. Rebecca, maybe? No, it's Belmere, Vivi, and yeah. The people from her village, pretty much, aside from Vivi. Nojiko, Belmere, and the guy with the hat. I forget his name. Damn. Sanji's got all the women, of course. And Zoro's got like a giant Shirahoshi and Mihawk plushie, which is something. What we hold in our hearts is ours forever. So yeah, Robin's like praying to get Chopper out of this thing. It's a really nice cover page. There's a lion, interestingly enough, watching over from behind it, which is what Brook is looking at. So yeah. Brook is the crane, or like holding on to the top, trying to get Chopper out of it like a crane. Usopp is the one like managing it, and then Zoro and the others are kind of just having fun. Also, Luffy has Momonosuke in his pocket. Just child Momonosuke, to be exact. And there's a buggy one, and yeah. Carrot as well. Carrot and Boa. That's cool. Blah. But anyway, getting into the chapter, we got chapter 161, A Love Ballad and a Hail of Arrows. So yeah, we got Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 43, The Resting Place of Heroes. So yeah, you got Momonosuke, Yamato, and Kinemon praying to the fallen heroes, I guess. But anyway, getting into the chapter, God Valley. What happens when legends meet? It says the island became an inescapable flashpoint, where motive and fate erupted into a battlefield of nightmares. You got Marines singing to the, almost called them heavenly dragons, but bleh. I'm blanking on what they're called. Celestial dragons, that's what they are. Saying, head for the evacuation route. One guy saying, but there was a prize I really wanted. And he's like, we will take responsibility and get it for you. No. Because, basically, I keep trying to say Holy Knight and Celestial Dragon and combining them to Holy Dragon. But, yeah, Celestial Dragon guy says, responsibility. You'll take responsibility for all of this, you idiot. And then, yeah, the, slaves are realizing or thinking, we might have a chance. Let's use the chaos to hop on a boat and slip away. Roger says, where's Shaki? Is she alright? Rox is thinking, Eris, Teach, where are you? And then Garp saying, where'd Roger go? And so then we got Dragon with Shanks and Shamrock, and he's trying to escape, saying, hang in there just a bit longer. Where are the Navy ships? And he's like, more pirates, it's not this way. And then, yeah, the black and white-haired lady from the God Knight says, yeah, I see him, a Marine with a little bundle, in his arms. And then suddenly Dragon gets shot by a beam from behind and screams and says, or he like goes like, "Wah!" And so yeah, she says, "Got him," and they say, "You're a lifesaver, Mafi." Garling would have killed me, so her name's Mafi. And so yeah, Garling drops to the floor and drops one of the babies. And so she picks him up and says, Mafi picks him up and says, "Who would have thought a prick like Garling could have a kid? It's almost as strange as our intriguing little kidnapper." So God Knight's Satchel's family, Saint Mafi. And Garling's like, "Ugh, wait, those babies, they're my only chance to atone for helping set up this twisted murder game." But yeah, Mafi's like got a sword pointed out. I'm like, "It was nice knowing you, young man." And Dragon is thinking, "I guess that's that. Considering all the dead, this is probably what I deserve." But yeah, then suddenly Mafi gets split in two along with all the trees in the area, and someone's saying, "Out of the way." And so we see it's Whitebeard saying, "For the last time, I was aiming for the enemy, not you. How many other pirate crews landed here anyway?" And then Big Mom's like, "Liar. Liar, I could have died. You want to go right now or something?" And then, yeah, Garland's like, "Whoa, these pirates, they're huge." And so, yeah, we see, I think I called him Garlic again. Dragon compared to Whitebeard and Big Mom, and he's just like super short. Whew, but yeah. And then Shiki comes over saying, "Damn you, Newgate, you trying to get me killed?" And he says, "Shiki." And Kaido says, "This isn't what we agreed to. What we agreed on, Lin Lin." So Shiki and Kaido have arrived with Whitebeard and Big Mom, or Lin Lin. A bunch of pirates show up saying, "The Rocks Pirates, if we can take them down, we'll be famous." And they're like, "Huh? Hang on, are these scrubs after Shaki too?" And so yeah, it says, Get back to bed, you small fries." And so yeah, we see them all just working together and taking down the small fries. And then yeah, they fly. Like all these guys are flying away. Mafi's like, "What in the world is happening on this island?" And then Dragon thinks, "I could probably slip away, but I lost the babies." And he says, "Why?" Because you see that Shanks got hit in the head. Or Shanks hit his head and is just out cold. Or assume it's Shanks. One of the babies, anyway, hit their head and is out cold. But going by what we know, that Garling is in the Holy Land and Shanks doesn't, you can assume this is Shanks. But yeah, then we got Garp saying, "Now this is a big catch. I found a prime fishing spot," as he hockeys up his fist. And it says, "Brace yourselves, you big old sea kings." They're like, "It's Garp." Yeah. They say, "It's Garp, run. A fight with him will drag on too long." Kaido's thinking, "We ain't gonna fight back at all." And then Big Mom says, "Can it?" She says, "Zeus, Prometheus," and they say, "Yes, Mama." And then, yeah, I was thinking, Dad. Ah, Dragon's thinking Dad. That's what it was. I was weirdly confused for a second there, but yeah. Big Mom says, "Heavenly Fewer Blitz." Fewer, something like that. Which, yeah, Garp just throws the attack at Garp or sends it at Garp, and then Marines yell Vice Admiral as he gets hit by it, and there's a huge explosion. Ivankov says, "What was that?" "No, focus. This is our chance to escape, Kuma." And then he says, "Yeah, sure, okay." And then Garp just says, "This isn't even hot enough to cook a prime rim. Cook a prime rib, Lin Lin." And she's like, "Fuck." Whew. But yeah. Then Maffey is like, "Hey, the kidnapper's probably dead and I secured the baby. That's good enough, right?" It's like, "I'm forever in your debt. Now please get back here before Garling finds out." So yeah. And then Dragon says, I'm sorry, I may not be able to help your brother, but I swear to at least save you. And it's like wheezing, or he is wheezing. And then, yeah, says, one of the God Knights says, you all really thought you could get away in the chaos. Pirates or townsfolk, none of you will escape on my watch. And then fires the gun and just seemingly hits all of them in the back. It says, reporting in. The Rocks Pirates are coming in from the southeast, the Roger Pirates from the northwest. We've been sandwiched. And yeah, we get a map of the Celestial Dragons, Roger and Rocks. And then, yeah, it says, give back Shocky. And it says, it's Roger. Fight to the last. We haven't gotten the treasure to safety yet. The Rocks crew are coming from the other side. And then, yeah, they say, Silver Axe says, I'm going to save her first. And Shiki's like, no, I will let go. I think it's Captain John. Says, Shocky, Shocky, we're here to save you. He's got a big metal hand. Interesting. Oh, but yeah, all the Rocks Pirates are rushing over. Oh. And someone says, hurry and stop them. You at least moved Shakiyaki, right? And it says, St. Summers about that. And it says, huh? Ah, St. Summers. And yeah, Shaki's like tied up, says, don't tell me all of them were taken out by one little chained up lady. So yeah. See that Shaki's done put a dude through the wall and all the others are just on the floor. Says, sounds like the pirates out there really are going to town. It says, how disrespectful. There's nothing less cute. And then he slaps her and says, than a woman who knows her worth. And yeah, we see that Shaki like goes for a kick. Summers blocks it, says ouch. And then yeah, grabs her leg and then picks up brings out a spiked bat and seemingly hits Shaki with it. And then yeah, he says, all these pirates are here to take you away. Your popularity is quite the pain. Certainly made a mess of our tourney. Even if you survive this, Garling will ultimately claim you as his. No one else really gains anything, so I'm starting to wonder if it wouldn't just be more fun to kill you here and now. And yeah, he says, they've come all this way just to save you. It'd be unfortunate for them to survive hell only to find the mangled corpse of their beloved here. Or beloved? However you say it. I wonder what kind of faces they'll make. And say, I got Roger and Whitebeard fighting. People outside yelling, Shocky, we've come to save you. Shiki says, Shocky, are you okay? I'm going to save you now. And then, yeah, other pirates saying, it'll be me. No, I'm the one. And then Roger's like, damn, my hands are tied right now. I'll leave Shocky to you. As Rayleigh jumps over everyone. Summers says, can you hear that? They're right outside, but I'm afraid they're just a little too late. St. Summers, or one of the Marines says, St. Summers, Garling won't forgive this kind of transgression. And he says, zip it. If you keep quiet, they'll just chalk it up to an accident. And he says, look at her face, all hope snuffed out. See, this ain't a fairy tale. I just gut any hero who'd show up. Life's a bitch, ain't it? Yeah. I'll kill you in 5 slashes. Savor the pain. Your wishful thinking will drain out with your blood. And then he says, I'll send you to the darkest shadow of the underworld. And then we see Rayleigh behind like a stance, one hand over his head. And he says, Transcendent Hegan Shigan, or Hegon Crescent. And then Summers goes flying through a wall. And he says, Shocky, sorry for the delay. I'm here for you. And yeah, replying to her letter that said, come and make me yours. So Furigana for his attack reads Red Spider Lily. And then yeah, Got Shaki crying, saying you're late. And he says, I'm sorry for letting it come to this. And she says, I was so scared. And he says, I'll never ever. And then, yeah, Roger and Gabon, not Rayleigh, say, save it for later, you dog. Guys, we've got Shaki, as they like crying their eyes out. Grab the treasure and run for it. And they say, woo. And this is a passionate rescue. But translator notes, we get the what was on the lanterns at the start of the chapter. And a kanji reference, a small blade slashed and evokes the idea of enlightenment as well as the Buddhist holiday Higan, which centers on transcendence and honoring ancestors. The reading sounds like Red Spider Lily. So that's the, I guess, origins of the attack name. As for the names on the lanterns, so it says Toki, Odin, Yasui, Uzuki Tempura, Fugetsu Omusubi, Shimosuke Ushimaru, Taka, Izo, Pedro, Kuro, and Ashura Doji. Not even finished Kuro. But then the translator note says the remaining lanterns were too hard to determine. So yeah. Probably assume 10 was Orochi. Most likely. They just cut off. Or something like that. Could be wrong. Don't know why they would honor him, but so maybe it's not Orochi. Not Kurozumi. But anyway, getting into the next chapter, 162, titled God Valley Battle Royale. So yeah, apparently it says Oni Child Yamato, final volume. Dear Luffy Dono, it's another peaceful day in Wano. As she's eating a skewer. We got Ulti and Not Conjuro. Ulti and Kinemon looking at each other. Funnily. Kinemon looking at her giving her a side eye. And then, Momonosuke. But no page 1 that I see, at the very least. Unless he's behind her. But, getting into the chapter, no one's safe on God Valley. Rocks and the Rocks and St. Garling are clashing in the northwest. Send back up. It says Rocks vs. Garling, Roger Pirates, current location, Rocks Pirates. And the treasure. There's treasure, but you want to go the other way. And then Roger says, we got the Rocks crew behind us and the Navy to our front. Go on ahead, Rayleigh. I'll handle things here. And he says, my bad, Roger. It says, Rayleigh got Shaki back. Or someone yells, Rayleigh got Shaki back. It says, move to the ship to the southwest. And say, on it. And it says, what? Or Rayleigh got Shaki back. What, man? I'm jealous. Damn it, me too. Beat Rayleigh and take Shaki. And so I got everyone after Rayleigh now. Shiki's saying, you can't, dumbasses. Shaki would get hurt. Focus on gathering treasure instead. Everything else is still up for grabs. Yeah. And then Shaki's just smiling and says, Rayleigh says, there's something I gotta tell you. And she says, don't say another word, I already know. And prize, storeroom 1. And we got back to Kuma. This is crazy out there. We couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. And Kuma says, is this it? And then Ivankov says, yes. Donovich, so eat up. So just eat up. And then this is when, Big Mom crashed through the wall and grabbed him and took the dragon fruit. And she says, phew, close one. And Kuma says, Eva-chan. And then she said, hand that one over too. And then Ivankov yells, Kuma, don't think, just eat it. You have to eat it. So yeah, he does so, and then Big Mom was like, grr. And Ivankov says, save them. If we get a single person off the island alive, we can call this a victory. Whew. And so we see Marco, I think, kicking someone in the face, kicking Silver Axe, saying the island's devolved into a pirate war zone. I think this is Marco anyway. Might not be. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Stussy's shooting at some Wonder Rogers people, I assume. Silver Axe got kicked, and Barbell is like in a pose. But yeah, it says the island's devolved into a pirate war zone. Should we pull back and try to capture them? What are your orders? This is and the Marine Group location says, and hasten. Garp says, hey Goku, did you know about this crap? And then he says, I think I recall someone alluding to it in a vague rambling once. The guy up and vanished from Navy life sometime afterwards. And Garp says, this doesn't feel like a dream. They really did this. And he's super angry. You can see a look on his face. Over at Rox's location, it says, why ain't these guys dying? And then Eris, I guess, says, Zebek put me down. He says, we got no choice but to run. And she says, wait, Zebek. Some of the others got caught up and transformed. What happened is an ability. And it says, Pops, Granny, what in the world? So yeah, we see they've been Domi reversied or something, because they've got the devil horns and the spiky teeth. And Garling says, sure is strong. It takes quite a long while to regenerate from his sword slashes. His Garling's like head has been cut open. Just crazy. But yeah, the other Holy Knight says, or God Knight says, but now we know he's also part of the Davy clan. Fetching him will please the Great One. It says, indeed, the interruption to our tourney has turned out to be a blessing. And Eris is saying, let me go, Zebek. Are you trying to fight them off one-handed? And he says, don't you get it, Eris? If anyone bearing the Davy name gets caught, they'll go through so much suffering it'll make hell look tame. And she says, I know that. She says, I'm a full-fledged part of the Davy clan now. Everyone here was always so nice to me, even though I was a pirate. I fully understand the fate our clan faces. Now put me down. So yeah, he's like, hey, because she just throws herself off his shoulder. And she says, if I was the kind of woman who just clung to you and couldn't protect a single child, you never would have fallen for me, right? And he's saying, don't be an idiot. If it looks like they're about to get me, I'll kill Teach and commit suicide. We'll survive this by splitting up. Let's meet on Lucia Zebek. And then, yeah, okay, so Garling says, finally ditched your wife and kid, huh? Now then, what will your next attack be? Why am I the one being saved here? That's what he's thinking. So yeah, Eris has taken Teach and ran off ahead to escape so that he can fight. And yeah, so Rox sends a slash, uses as a sword slash. And he says, afraid I can't let you go any further. Now bring it on, you monsters. And Eris is thinking Zebek, and then Teach is looking like awestruck. Looking on and awestruck with like a tear in his eye. It says, outside storeroom 1, we got Big Mom laughing, saying, this'll do. Model of the fish fruit. I'll feed it to Katakuri. My future crew is going to be overwhelmingly powerful. And from behind, we got Kaido coming in and smacking her in the head. Yeah. Smacks her and takes the fruit. So yeah, eats it out of the air, too. Just something. Oh, yeah, he just like smiling. Whew. And then, yeah, she yells, "Screw you, Kaido." And then we got Dragon Shanks, I guess, crying, and he's saying, "I won't let you die." And so, yeah, we got Dragon with Shanks and Eris with Teach, both rushing, thinking, "I won't let you," both saying, "I won't let you die." But Eris says, "Teach." And it says, bleh. Behind the game stage, prize storeroom 2. I found the treasure, woo. Yeah, Gabon and the Roger Pirates saying, "Never seen this much loot before. Whoa, there's devil fruits too. Load it all up." Like we'd let the Roger Pirates get away with all this. Is, yeah. Wang Ji, I think. I don't think that's his name. But, yeah, one of the Rocks Pirates comes in attacking, I think. And then, yeah, it says, another guy says, "Drive the pirates off the island." And then, yeah, it says, "Nothing makes sense here, even justice." I think this is Garp. It says, "The world government's navy, please let us go. God Valley is not a member nation as such. If even, yeah," and then Kuma's thinking, "Whew, even if only one more, I'm gonna save as many as I can, of these people as I can." It says, "Saturn is Rock's dead." It says, "Well, things continued to unfold outside our expectations. In fact, all this intense destruction, I believe if it continues, we risk something else being unleashed." And it's like, "What is that? A dragon?" And then the voice says, "That must not be permitted." And Kuma is being thanked by the people who are escaping, saying, "Thank you, Kuma-kun, you're..." And he's like, "No need to thank me. We have to hurry. Anywhere but here would be heaven." And so, yeah, Kuma is like poofing the people off the island, or yeah, captured people. Said, "I had given up on surviving this. Thank you." This is Poof, "Thank you." And then, yeah, this old man and his granddaughter, I assume. He poofs them away. This mother and her 2 children say thank you, and then there's Ginny just bawling her eyes out, saying thank you. And then suddenly, Hockey just explodes off the island. We got Roger, Garp, and Rocks all feeling it. Like, what? And it says, "Boss, it's Rocks and the others." And then, yeah, he says, "Hold on, this probably isn't the time for that." And he says, "How dare you go after my family? If you want me dead, I'll take you down first." And so, yeah, we got Garling on the floor, been defeated. And he says, "It's not much to gain here, you know. Still gonna help." To Whitebeard, saying, "Don't sweat it. I owe you since I'm always drinking on your tab." And then Kaido says, "Hey, you two, check this out." And he says, Rock saying, "Finally got an..." Or Kaido says, "I finally got an ability." And he says, "Good on you. At least someone's having a fun time." And then Whitebeard says, "That's great and all, but mind if I ask what the hell we're up against?" So yeah, what the hell are we up against? And then, yeah, we see Saturn has a Gyuki form, his spider form, but with, I guess, emo coming off of it, or like, yeah. It says, "Saint Saturn, what is this transformation? Whoa, a monster." And Garp says, "Maybe this is a dream after all. What's up with this island?" Rock says, "I've been one adventurous twist. It's been..." Roger, yeah, says, "It's been one adventurous twist after another today." And so Rock says, "What is it, you ask? If I had to say, it's the world." Which, yeah, gives a whole new context to what Van Augur and had to read what Devon were talking about when they said they were going after the world. I feel, at least. But yeah, hope y'all enjoy this video. If you do, then yeah, leave a like, comment on it, sub the channel, hit that notification bell, and I will see you all next time. Well, not next week since it says there's a break. But yeah, see y'all a week after, I guess. Later.